Good afternoon. Welcome to week 4 of Gary's Corner. Haven't been around for a couple of weeks. I've been sick, so we're back at it now, and we're going to talk about the Municipal Government Act again today, or AKA the misuse of government authority. This disgraceful act was put in place by the Liberal government in December of 2017. Think about that now. Passing a law to get around democracy. That tells us what kind of people these Liberals were. And this is why rural PEI put them out. Because they knew this was an unjust act, and so did all rural PEI. That's why we voted for PC parties. The PC party, who right at the moment is still fidgeting around and not getting down to the work of changing the MGA as promised in their election campaigns numerous times. I'm going to read you a few things here on why we figure or what should be done with the act. Most people think it should be scrapped completely, but I believe it would have to be left in place for Charlottetown, Summerside, and Stratford and those areas. What we need to do is change the regulations to allow small communities to continue to exist without amalgamation or annexation. They need different rules, and they should be able to share resources like administrators, offices, funding, their own budgets and stuff. And they should be able to control it to do what they want with their municipalities. They can always use an access PEI that's in their area. It's already there. They don't need to put in an office for everybody, for every small community. And this law, the Municipal Government Act, is why they're forced into amalgamation and annexation. They're put into this position by the Liberal government, who wanted to force amalgamation in. The provincial government's responsibility is create an island-wide comprehensive land use plan, emergency measure plans for the island in consultation with the communities. Not download their responsibility to municipalities who are ill-equipped and know less about it than the government should. If the government doesn't know about this, they better learn and get off their ass and start doing the plan properly. No annex or amalgamation should ever be allowed in a democratic country like Canada or a little island without a binding referendum, community by community. And that means that everybody on the island has a vote on this. If you say yes, you want in, that's fine. If you want out, that's fine. That's democracy. FPIM should have no authority in this act whatsoever. They're there to consult with existing municipalities, not argue for new ones or put them in place. So they have to be removed from the act completely. And the minister's powers have to be reduced at least back to what the old act was. Hey, we got company. Hi, buddy. That's Diego. You know, the PC party promised to bring in a binding referendum and change this act. They're sitting on their hindquarters right now and doing nothing about it. And all the meantime, what's happening is other communities are being amalgamated. Right now the minister would say, oh, well, we're not forcing any amalgamations. But the fact is, they're allowing Bonshaw and that group to carry on with amalgamation, even though Bonshaw, 90% of the voting residents, said no. So he's just using the law to allow these to get pushed through, and that's wrong. These communities have the right to say whether they want to be amalgamated, so this is why these MGA powers have to be changed. So these new municipal government is just another branch of the Prince Edward Island government. We've got one government now that doesn't listen to us and doesn't have to listen to us on budget and taxation and all that stuff. I believe municipalities should go back to the old way, the way it used to be, where everybody had a vote on their municipal budget, and if it passed, it passed. If it didn't, then they had to rewrite the thing and try to save money. This is not about new taxes. Well, this is all about new taxes, folks. And that's all this is. And if you think the government is not controlled of the Municipal Government Act, watch what happens to a council that says no to this government. We already had one council in Eastern Kings here that was totally replaced because they didn't agree with the MGA. That's not right. And what amalgamation annexation means right now is you have no control of your council. Their budgets are open-ended. They can put a new budget every year. So you have no control over your council. Your neighbors and your friends are deciding what their wages are, what your taxes are going to be. And the worst part of this is all the new bylaws are going to come into effect. And you're going to have absolutely no say in the use of your own property. The municipality and the provincial government have taken total control if you are annexed or amalgamated. Right now the bylaws for Three Rivers are being written, and most other amalgamation spots that have already been amalgamated are doing their bylaws. That means in their bylaws they can decide, one person who complains can decide what's going to happen on your property. Say they don't like the noise of your snowmobile going down the country in these new municipalities, they can go right ahead with no permission from anyone and change the law and take that away from you. The other sad point about it was, like, I don't believe in having a dirty, filthy yard, and I try to keep my property clean, as most islanders do. The municipality can come in and fine you for not having the perfect house or yard. Something they don't like in your yard, they can come in and tell you to change it. And if you don't pay your fines, you'll have an automatic lien on your house. That's written right into the laws, folks. That's unacceptable. There's no reason to pollute or have a bad looking yard, but you should have the right to clean it up on your own without being fined by somebody else. This act means you've lost, if you're amalgamated, you've lost total control of your own property. You've given control to some council. If you're unincorporated, you have no vote to join. You didn't have a democratic vote to join this municipality, and I don't think that's right. And it may be quasi-legal or a little bit legal according to the pathetic Liberal Party, but you have no democracy in this. You have no control over your civil rights, your property. It'll be all handed off to the new municipality you're in. This act is disgusting. It makes a joke of veterans who gave us democracy and freedom. And I'm not going to stand for that. I'm going to fight, folks, and it's time for you to get up and help us. You all need to sign up here in the Royal Coalition. Even if you don't want, send me an email and say you'll stand beside me when we have to go in and tell the government how they're going to change this act. Because together we can do this. I think this Amalgamation Act is it's unfit for a little island. We have enough government now. We're paying government who don't want to do their jobs now. We need a better quality of government. We need government that are going to stick to their promises and start changing things to make it right for islanders. And making things right for islanders at this time of day is not making new municipalities and giving us new taxes and new rules. We need a tax reduction. We need to expand our island with small businesses and get islanders working. So help us get rid of this ridiculous Liberal Act. Force the PC government to keep their promises and make the changes we need. Let's make our island, take our island back to democracy and the best place for civil rights in this country. And I'll talk to you more next week. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Think about what's happening, help us fight it, and have a good evening.